Midweek evening, snow falling beyond the glass. A thick blanket hugs your shoulders while warmth spreads through the room, steady and low. Screens glow, holding attention past sensible hours. Another show, another stretch of time gone unnoticed. Steam curls from a cup resting nearby, fingers occasionally brushing the phone beside you. Outside, winter bites, justifying wool on feet and layers pulled tight. That quiet thought slips in. Today might have held more if only things had unfolded differently. Start here instead. All those things, electric blankets, heaters, apps bringing food, games on screens, tight windows locking heat in, they vanish. Picture only raw wood walls and ground turned hard by cold. That uneasy feeling inside you shifts now. Swap guilt for something deeper. A real chill runs through your bones when you think the flames could die before morning and never spark again. Frozen breath hangs while thoughts circle the pantry shelves. Morning feels far when each groan of timber sounds louder than the last. Today, Medieval Archive takes us there. This here holds what's left from back then. Old pages, cracked ink, voices half remembered. Back then, life didn't cushion the blows. Winter wasn't just cold, it decided who lived. Staying alive took work every single day. Rough palms gripping tools, minds refusing to quit. Because there was no backup plan. What those folks went through, their food, their faith, their homes, even grief tucked under floorboards, is real history, not polished myths. Somewhere near the 1300s, a chill settled into Europe. Not loud, not sudden, just colder each decade, dragging on through the 1400s. Back then, folks didn't have names for it. Now, scholars tag it the Little Ice Age. Average temps dipped about 1 degree Celsius, a number that seems tiny, silly even, unless your life depends on every fraction of warmth. When you're farming right at the edge of survival, 1 degree shifts everything. Waterways once open year after year started locking up in thick ice. Boats sat idle. Winter stretched like old leather pulled taut. Seasons good enough for crops got shorter, tighter. Food yields slipped below what villages needed just to keep going. Darkness came earlier, stayed later. Cold pressed down like weight. People moved through days unsure if next week would bring thaw or deeper frost. They had no warnings ahead of time, no help built into roads or storage systems. Spring wasn't guaranteed. It arrived only when it chose, if at all. A frost never just passed by for the medieval farmer. It demanded a kind of quiet haggling day after day, like speaking low to a beast that doesn't care but hears anyway. A hut in the countryside during the 1300s, say in England or France, wouldn't count as housing today. 1 room only, usually made of woven branches coated in wet clay, basically twigs held together with dirt and topped with dried grass for a roof. Chimneys? Often missing, especially back then. Instead, flames crackled in the middle of the floor. Smoke wandered upward, escaping, if it could, through an opening above, slipping between gaps in the straw, sometimes lingering like fog indoors. Over time, soot painted every wall dark. The taste in the air was ash. Some eyes learned to see through it, given enough years. Others never did. That smoke, thick and hard to ignore, actually did something useful. Thanks to it, the roof stayed in better shape. Bugs and small pests kept their distance. Winter days moved slow, built quietly around one small flame, always watched, never left alone. Stopping it from dying wasn't something forgotten once. Gathering wood took hours each fall, one log after another piled high. Figuring out the right amount always left some doubt behind. Huddled close under one roof, farm beasts turned drafty huts warmer through sheer warmth. Goats, sometimes a cow, even pigs, they shared sleeping spaces when winter bit hardest. Records describe thick odors filling those rooms, sharp and constant. Still, living breath near human beds meant less shivering at dawn. A handful of breathing bodies, fur-covered or not, pushed back the chill just enough. Side by side, you let them sleep where you slept. Your kids took their first steps near these same bodies. Maybe it bothered you, still, you stayed. Heat cares nothing about who gives it off. Up north, where snow stays longer, buildings changed because cold wasn't just passing through. A kind of home called the Viking longhouse kept going, even centuries later, shaped by need more than beauty. Stretching flat across the land, its shape fought gusts by offering less to them. Earth-topped sides held warmth like a buried secret, working far better than expected. A long blaze stretched through the center. People and beasts lined up on either edge, settled into roles learned over time. Winter in Iceland hit harder than anywhere else in Europe, so those buildings often sank halfway underground, pulling heat from the soil like a loan set to clear when warmer days returned. Frost shaped their days, not as an enemy, but as a fact. Winter came, they waited, steady. Life bent around cold, like branches under snow. Survival wasn't fought, just lived through, one breath at a time. What people wore also spoke of compromise. Linen, tightly spun and next to the body, formed the base for most lives, no matter wealth. Above that, wool settled in thick folds, more wool piled on top. For some, there followed fur, fox, rabbit, beaver, marten. A cloak lined well might turn a bitter evening into something survivable. Clothing during medieval times went beyond individual choice. Because of sumptuary laws, rules controlling which fabrics and hues each class could use, the situation became tangled fast. Wearing fur when you worked the fields wasn't allowed, even if winter bit hard. Officials claimed some comforts belonged only to higher ranks. Frost paid no attention to those rules, though. Every spare minute, women worked wool by hand. Not something done for fun. This task kept families alive. When winter came, missing thick fabric meant real risk. January cold spared no one without cover. Winter once bit deep, leaving scars in both stories and soil. Weeks-long ice gripped the Seine during 1306 into 1307. People simply walked across. Centuries later, Londoners wandered atop the frozen Thames like it was routine. Frost clamped down often enough that stalls sprouted on the thickened surface, festive setups born from necessity. These makeshift bazaars masked hardship beneath movement and noise. A river-turned pathway means nature ran off script. Under heavy skies, the Alps and parts of northern Germany sometimes get buried beneath mountains of snow. Roofs give way under such loads. Whole towns vanish inside mountain gaps. Outside contact stops, sometimes for weeks. Imagine a place sealed shut in December, silent until March or later. Few know what that kind of quiet does. It presses down. Not just frost in the bones, but something deeper too. Frozen earth meant hunger lurked close, so keeping food lasted mattered more than almost anything. Fires burned low under hanging meats, smoke curling for days. Salt heaped on fish till they looked like stone slabs pulled from cliffs. Jars filled with sour liquid held cabbages, roots, scraps saved before frost sealed the soil. Dairy stayed buried in dark cellars where cold never left. Beneath the surface, roots slept under layers of gritty sand. Each fall brought a flurry, no time to waste packing earth-covered harvests before frost bit hard. Survival depended on how well they stored what the soil gave up. Up north, dairy became a big deal. When salted and stored right, butter lasted years. Irish bogs have turned up ancient chunks hidden away long ago. Those who stashed it meant to return. Not everyone made it back. That stretch from 1315 to 1322, when hunger gripped nearly everything north of the Alps, exposed how fragile life really was. Rain never ceased, cold dug in deep, so fields rotted under gray skies year after year. Bodies gave up not in days, like during outbreaks, yet faded bit by bit. The slow fade of ribs pressing through skin, kids shrinking instead of rising taller. Words scratched into parchment tell of roots chewed, tree peels swallowed, mothers trading milk-fed infants for scraps. Barely 60 years before pestilence arrived, this long hollowing emptied villages already teetering. Some reckon those decades of want left bones brittle, wills thin, so when death came knocking again, there wasn't much strength left to answer. Still, even so, folks made ways to come together, sharing jokes, turning shadows into moments worth having. When winter nights locked the ground hard, people turned to storytelling. Huddled near flames, voices carried legends of brave souls, holy figures, lessons tucked inside wonder. These accounts moved from person to person, much like food shared at a table. On icy ponds, children raced using smooth bones strapped underfoot, gliding in ways that feel oddly close to how we play now. By flickering light, hands reached for boards, chess pieces advanced, dice rolled, patterns formed in games like Nine Men's Morris. Minds wrestled riddles, laughter broke silence. Darkness stretched long, but it was shaped, carefully, into moments warmed by what cleverness could offer. Back then, doctors thought sickness came from imbalances inside the body. Though their ideas did not match modern science, they followed a pattern of their own. Seasons changed what flowed through people: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, black bile. Cold months brought too much dampness, linked to sluggish moods and heavy chests. To fight this, folks turned to drinks warmed with cloves, cinnamon, ginger. Hot meals were favored, seen as helping the inner fire stay strong. Too much work outdoors could drain heat, so rest mattered more when snow fell. Some healers warned against steaming baths during frosty spells. They feared open skin would let icy air sneak into vital parts. Keeping covered made sense under such beliefs. People probably did not get healthier from this advice. Smelling better? Unlikely too, though that's a separate issue. After everything fades, one thing stays clear. Not pain alone, but quiet strength that wears like stone. Winter always came, they knew it well. Still, they stocked what mattered. Butter went underground, Logs got tallied, cloth grew thicker by hand. In dim rooms voices rose, not loud, just steady, with tales meant to last past nightfall. Across frozen rivers once full of water, some moved on bone skates. A truth they knew, hard for us now to grasp: warmth didn't arrive by itself. It had to be built, fought for, passed hand to hand. Frozen air stung their faces each dawn, reminding them existence wasn't something handed out lightly. Just breathing meant showing up, whether ready or not. Some winters shattered people, others shaped what stayed behind, built quiet strength inside a culture we carry but rarely trace. When chill slips through cracks again and hands move on their own toward buttons or blankets still humming from hours past, maybe pause just once. Think of those who owned nothing like that. Only flames, wool, one another, and the steady, silent hope that warmth would return. Pages hold their tale once you learn which ones to turn. Because remembering matters, that's why Medieval Archive keeps searching. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, like the video and subscribe.